Hey everyone, this is Chappie Feeney, the product marketing manager here at Intense, and for today's video we are going to be finally assembling our 22 Tracer 279. Let's get started. Alright, so now that we have the box open, first thing to take note of is inside the triangle we're going to pull out our accessory bag. Alright, so with our accessory bag pulled, we're going to go ahead and pull our handlebars up. Going to set them on top of the box, and what we're looking for is our dropper post lever. So this will be on the rider's left hand side of the bar. So we'll depress that lever, and this will allow us to get our seat up. That way we can put the bike in the stand and carry on with our build. All right, so now that we have the bike in the stand, all the packaging removed, the first step here is we're going to go ahead and install our bars. So we'll start this by turning the stem around to face forward, same direction as the crown of our fork, and then we'll remove our faceplate. All right, so once both faceplate halves have been removed, we'll go ahead and roll our bar up into position. And we'll go ahead and reinstall one of the faceplate halves. All right, so the way this particular stem works is we want to make sure that there is zero gap, as we can see stated here, between the faceplate and the stem body itself. So we'll do that by simply just snugging those top bolts down. And then we will come back and torque after we have completed installing the handlebars. Once the top bolts are snugged into position, we can go ahead and install the two lower bolts. Once those are installed and about half a turn loose, we can go ahead and make sure the bar is centered and rolled into the position we like. All right, so now that we're over at the rear of the bike, let's go ahead and install our rear derailleur. So we'll do this. We're going to grab our included three-way 5mm Allen, grab our rear derailleur, engage the bolt, and line the threads of the bolt up to our derailleur hanger. So with our bolt lined up to the derailleur hanger, we'll go ahead and get the first 1 to 2 threads started here. All right, so before we go any further, we want to make sure our B plate, which is here, is lined up with the flat surface of our derailleur hanger here. So we can do that by just simply making sure that they come into contact with each other, and then you can also push the derailleur forward to make sure those sit flush. So once we've done that, we can continue tightening our derailleur into position. Go snug, and then also again forward pressure, keep the contact of the derailleur hanger on the B plate there, and then snug that into position, and then we'll follow up with a torque wrench. All right, with our torque wrench set to 8 to 9 Newton meters, we'll go ahead and set the torque of our derailleur hanger bolt. So the last step here is we're going to go ahead and lock our derailleur cage forward. We're just going to simply roll it forward, push our lock button, hold that into position, release our lower cage, and then that'll lock the derailleur cage forward, which gives us better access for rear wheel installation. So now we can go ahead and remove our pad spacer. Little tip, go ahead and keep that pad spacer. This will be good for any type of travel or storage later on. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and remove our axle. It's a quick release axle, so we'll slide our lever out and remove. Now we can go ahead and prep the wheel for rear installation. So here's a rear wheel. One thing to take note of is as we pull any of our rotor protectors off, making sure that we do not have any hub adapters on the ends. If they do come off, go ahead, take them off and reinstall them on the wheel. This particular wheel, we don't have to worry about that, but it's always good to check no matter what. All right, so now that our rear wheel is ready, we're going to go ahead and install it in the frame. So we'll start that by pulling our derailleur rearwards, and then pulling our wheel up and just aligning the chain on the smallest gear of the cassette. Now we'll align the rotor in the rear brake caliper, slide that up into position, and install our rear axle. Slight amount of inward pressure. Tighten till snug. Reinsert our quick release lever, and then we'll come back over to the drive side and torque our axle into position. Back over on the drive side, we're going to go ahead and unlock our rear derailleur. So we'll just simply push the lower cage forward, the lock will unlock, and then let that roll forward. All right, so now we can go ahead and torque our rear axle. So this will use a 5mm Allen, torque wrench set to 11 Newton meters, and this will actually be in a counterclockwise direction. So with the rear wheel installed, now we're going to move to the front. So this is going to be the same process. We're going to pull our rotor protectors off, make sure there's no adapter stuck to it, make sure they're still on the hub. If they do come off, go ahead and put them back on the hub before you throw these away. So next we're going to prep our fork. So we're going to go ahead and remove our pad spacers. Again, save this for travel or for storage later on. Now we'll flip our quick release lever and go ahead and unscrew our front axle. So next we're going to align our rotor into our brake caliper and align the hub into our dropouts. Slide that up into position and install our front axle. We're going to apply some inward pressure and thread the axle into position, and then we'll make sure we flip our lever up. All right, so now that we have the wheels installed on the bike, let's go ahead and run through the drivetrain to make sure everything's adjusted properly. Now it's important to note that they do come adjusted, so we just want to make sure and confirm that everything is running good. All right, so at this point, if you do need any derailleur adjustments or tuning, we do have a tech video that's geared specifically towards derailleur adjustment, so definitely check that out. That'll guide you through that process from start to finish. Now that that's complete, we're ready to go there. We're going to move to putting air in our fork. Depending on the packaging that your bike comes in, you may need to add air just to get the bike to its static position. Refer to the user manual. We do have an air pressure chart that will help get you started right where you need to be for your rider weight. All right, so on this bike, our Tracer 279, we have a new feature, and that is our CHAD system storage. All right, so located on the bottom of our down tube here, you will see a plastic door. This door has a lever on the back side, which will simply depress in a forward direction, pull our door down and out. Now let's take it to the bench and we'll get our tube bag set up that is also included with your bike. So here we have our CHAD Systems tube bag. So open this up real quick so we can kind of show you. So this is where our tube will sit. So folded twice over will fit in there. Then you can put your CO2 and tire levers in that pouch. Close everything back up. Then from that point, we'll flip this over to our D-ring is facing down. Align. We're going to take our strap here with our shiny side facing up. We're going to fish it through our door over, pull it through. We're going to set our tube bag, engaging the Velcro on the bottom side to our door. Lap our strap over, slide it through the other side of the door, pull it tight, and stick that into position. Now with a tube in there, this strap is adjustable to compensate for different size tubes. And then from this point, we can go ahead and install this back into the bike. All right, so now with the bike on the ground, we're going to go ahead and set the torque of our headset assembly and also confirm the alignment of our bars to our front wheel. Take a seat on the bike. We can use the front plane of our bar on the front surface of the crowns to get a really good reference on alignment. All right, so now that we've confirmed the alignment of our handlebars, let's go ahead and check the headset assembly preload. So this bolt, we should be torquing anywhere from 2 to 4 Newton meters. 3 Newton meters is a really good place to start. So go ahead and set that now. With that set, we'll just double check our alignment, make sure nothing moved. And then from there, we will go ahead and tighten our stem clamp bolts. On this bike, we'll be using a T25, and this will be on the included L wrench. So as we move to touching the last few bits of the bike in order to get it set up for us, let's take a look at seat height. One real quick way to at least get the seat height in kind of the ballpark range before you really dial it into you is simply take your hand on the top of your hip bone, line that up with the seat, and if it sits just on top of the seat, that's a pretty good starting point, usually within a centimeter. So this, as you can see, is a little on the high side for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and slide our seat down. I'm going to check again. Now my hand goes right over the top. So that's a really good position for me to start with there. And then I'm going to take my 3-way Allen and I'm going to tighten our seat post clamp to 5 Newton meters. And then check again. Confirm the function of our seat post, and we are good to go there. All right, so now we can go ahead and throw on a set of our favorite pedals. get our suspension set up, which we do have a detailed video on how to set up your sag. And then from there, this bike is 100% ready to rip. We have successfully completed the assembly process for our 2022 Tracer 279. If you have any questions on that process or need any assistance along the way, don't hesitate to reach out. We'll be more than happy to help. Thanks for choosing Intense.